Uganda has moved a theoretical move to illustrate and substantiate mindset change. But for me, I think it's higher time that we could do evidence a practical mindset change. If you are to teach mindset change, that means nationalism and patriotism, and which tendency must be accorded from government itself. If the government could execute its tasks and perform its duties, deliver services in accordance to the oath that they do take, and also consideration of respective interests of respective communities, I think the mindset change would be adaptive to government performance and service delivery. That's how people will change their mind. But now you cannot ask people to change their minds when they are bad off, when the resources are unevenly distributed and shared. People to change their minds. If for you are doing the contrary, people end up seeing leaders as if they are a source of income, because they are expected gains from such leaders is nowhere, and therefore they end up also scooping resources from respective leaders. Then a leader also ends up scooping resources from government. Then the government also ends up scooping resources from the government itself. So a sequence of the tendency of corruption, embezzlement, swindling, misuse, abuse of offices goes on person to person, level to level, department to department, ministry to ministry. So the mindset change issue requires a correction and the entire revision, a total revision of the entire stakeholders and structure of governance, leadership and administration.
All right, good one there, members of parliament. Just a quick, giving us an insight on their opinions in regards to mindset change in the country. The conversations are huge and big, and it's what we are going to be having in our Business Insight this morning. Many thanks for being part of Smart Means Business for wherever you are, but also to remind you, if you want to grow your investments, all you need to do today is to kickstart off that with the Zabo platform. The USSD code is *292# if you want to kickstart off the investment journey today. Registration is very free with your national identification number, and in the next 24 hours, you'll be ready to invest in government bonds and other securities. It is as easy as it gets. And if you want to invest in government bonds, for example, you'll only need 15,000 Ugandan shillings as the minimum amount for you to kickstart off your investment journey. And you can definitely choose a maturity period for the bond that you want to invest into. Zabo markets open at 8:15 a.m. East African Standard Time and close at 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time on a daily, that is Monday to Friday. They're only fully closed during the weekends and on public holidays. Rest of the time, you'll be able to invest and grow your investment. Zabo, my money, my future, Altex East Africa, do something new. All right, now it's time for us to have an insight into the business perspective this morning. And today, our main concern is about mindset change. Conversations that are not so common in the country, but conversations that we need to be having and championing the same. With me this morning, I'm joined by two gentlemen. One is Dr. Lanry Olushola. Many thanks for joining us, sir.
Thank you very much, Jerome. It's an honor and a privilege to be on.
All right. And it's our pleasure to have you here. And also on my extreme left, I do have Samson Boya, board chairman, that is Coach Africa. Many thanks for joining us, Mr. Samson.
Thank you, Jerome.
All right. And speaking of mindset change, I'll start with Dr. Lanry. First of all, you're most welcome to the show again, once again. And just briefly, your introduction to the viewers, for them to get to know who Dr. Lanry Olushola is, and to at least get to also understand what you intend for the Ugandans to understand about mindset change.
Thank you very much. It's quite interesting when I see the subject matter this morning. It really just aligns with the purpose for which I was created.
Okay.
So it talks about mindset change, a catalyst for economic transformation,
yes,
or reformation, and to prevail and to overcome economic hardship. So I'm known as the catalyst.
Okay.
Yes, because I transform minds rapidly. So if you looked at a catalyst in chemical terms, it's defined as a substance or an intervention that speeds up the rate of reaction without itself being involved.
Yes.
Or slows down the rate of reaction.
Yes.
So if we bring it into this conversation, what do? I simply change minds. So I've studied from theology to sociology, and there is no mind that is not influenced by the components and the dynamics of your spiritual essence.
Okay.
There is no mind that is not influenced by your social existence. There is no mind that is not influenced by your biology. So the soul is the seat of your intellect, your will, and your mind and your emotions. And at the heart of every human outcome, or every human result, is your emotions, is your beliefs, and your thoughts. So when we talk about the mind, we're talking about the dynamics of your thoughts,
your beliefs,
your emotions, and your decisions. And your mind is the software that helps you operate with either optimally or suboptimally. So if we looked at this device now, right, this iPad, it is hardware. That's our body.
Okay.
But this
has got software.
It's got a software and a program and apps. And for this to really, really function well, it needs to be connected to the internet. Or it needs to be connected to Apple. Or it needs to be connected to
Android.
Or it needs to be connected to the telco. Telecoms company that you are subscribing to, or the internet company that you are subscribing to. I've just described the essence of our existence. There is a divine spiritual connection
that is driving the entire.
Yes, that is driving the functionality of this device. This device does not work in isolation of that. If there's no internet, there's no way that you can use the apps. If there's no telecoms connection, a SIM card, you cannot connect this device to anything. It will just be operating in isolation, and that's where many people operate, in isolation. Now, this device is supposed to help you communicate with people, or to help you get a message across, or to help you fulfill a purpose. And I've just described you, Joram. I've just described me. I've just described every one of us. And so we cannot be talking mind without talking spirit. We cannot be talking mind without talking soul. We cannot be talking mind without talking body. We cannot be talking mind without talking environment and relationships, because all of those things work together. So if we're talking about mind change, we're talking about the change of your entire existence.
As a human.
As you see, the thing about it also is you are not a human being, Joram.
Okay.
You're a spiritual being.
That is operating in a body.
Yes. So your body is just your capsule. It's just your container. The real you is invisible. 95% of everything you do is done by what we call your subconscious and your superconscious mind. So we have three minds. We have the conscious mind, that is the mind of the body, the brain.
Yes.
But we have a subconscious mind, the mind of your soul. And we have the superconscious mind, the mind of your spirit. So you have three minds. Now, which mind do you want to change? A lot of us are focusing on the mind of the body. That only controls 5%. The mind of the body, right, in itself, is not just that white matter. It is your eyes, it is your nose, it is your mouth, it is your ears, it is your entire skin, your entire 5 senses. Because your brain cannot function without those 5 senses. They are extensions to your brain. So you need to understand those dynamics. Now we're still talking mindset change, because you can't change what you don't understand.
Yeah.
You can't change what you don't know.
Yeah.
Now, with that, you also need to now understand the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is so powerful, and I'll give you a very powerful illustration. Okay. So if I said to you, Joram, right, I want you to look at, and I want every viewer also to look at this red pen. Just keep your eyes on this red pen, right?
Sure.
Don't keep your eyes away from it. Now, what I want you to do now is, I'm just going to borrow your folder. Keep your eyes on this red pen. But I'm going to give you an instruction. I want you to disobey that instruction as you keep your eyes on this red pen.
Okay.
So viewers, just keep your eyes on this red pen. But I want you to disobey the next instruction. Don't think about this red pen. Don't think about this red pen. Don't think about this red pen. No, you kept your eyes away. Don't think about this red pen, Jerome. Don't think about this red pen. Viewers, don't think about this red pen. Don't think about this red pen. What are you thinking about? The red pen.
Yeah.
But if I said to you, Jerome, think about this red folder instead of this red pen. Think about this red folder instead of this red pen. Think about this red folder. Think about this red folder instead of this red pen. What are you thinking about?
The red.
Fantastic. I've just taught you one rule of mindset change.
Okay.
You cannot give negative instructions because your subconscious mind and your superconscious mind, they do not take negative instructions. So when I say don't do this, your subconscious mind deleted the don't.
Okay.
So when you say I don't want to be poor, your subconscious mind does not receive that instruction. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to steal. I don't want to be corrupt.
Yes.
Right? Your subconscious mind does not take that instruction. I don't want a man that abuses me. I don't want a woman that abuses me. What do you want? We must first of all identify our vision, our desire, and our purpose. And we must focus on it for there to be a mindset change. You must change from one thing to the other. But you must focus on that thing, which means that you must clearly define what you want, not what you don't want.
Oh.
There's something called the law of attraction. That it says that which you think about, that which you feel, that which you hold belief about,
yes,
you attract and you create. So I've just taught one fundamental principle. I haven't even gone to the soul dimension. I haven't gone to the spiritual dimension of mindset shift. I've just taught you one principle: command.
Okay.
What command and instruction do you give your mind? And which mind are you giving instruction? And which mind is giving instruction? And which mind is following the instructions? Because just like software and program, once I type it in, it's going to do what I tell it to do.
Yes.
Once I type in the instructions, it must obey. That's the subconscious mind. But
okay,
I've got to type in the right language. I've got to use Word, PowerPoint, or whatever it is. Input is very critical to output. Now, why do we want to change our minds? We want to be rich.
Yes.
We want to be wealthy.
To progress.
We want prosperity and progress.
Yes.
Right? Good. Now, do you know that there's a difference between the mind and the mindset of a poor man, a rich man, and a wealthy man?
Yeah, sure.
It is not cash that determines their economic status. It's their mindset.
And how they approach certain things.
Their mindset is what determines how they approach anything.
Okay.
So the poor man has a mindset, even though he has great talents. He has 24 hours. Those are the two major things that you use to create value. You have a mind, you can think. You have talents and gifts, and you have 24 hours. You have the same. I have the same. Sam has the same. The poor man has the same. The rich man has the same. The wealthy man has the same. Don't we? But the difference between the poor, rich, and the wealthy is simply their mindset.
You know, Doctor, now, it brings me to a concern of how are we going to change this? Because you see, I've actually given you a little bit from my preamble, that you see, in our country today, our kind of mindset, just like the Member of Parliament in there mentioned this, at times it is only twinkled or twisted by the way of life we're in. Now, the state of the economy today is people are living for, we're just living for survival. You're waking up in the morning, you have no plan of where you're going, what you're going to do, but you're very, you're just positive. You're positive that today, at the end of the day, I'll make $1 or $2, or I'll make $3 at the end of the day. That is just, people are just living in the survival mode. How are we changing it? How do we have that positive mindset from all these kind of economic hardships that we are facing?
All right. It's a very, very valid point, right? The mindset of the poor is the mindset of survival.
Okay.
And what does survival mean? Once I can eat,
I'm good.
I'm good. And I have to do everything necessary to
find
eat,
food.
no matter what I do to the people around me.
As long as I eat.
As long as I eat. So we're not different from the animals in the jungle.
Who wake up to pray.
Survival mode. They don't pray. They don't pursue purpose. They don't pursue transcendency. They don't pursue significance. They don't pursue success. They just want to survive. Basic human instinct. Now, there's some people that have plenty cash, especially people that have stolen plenty money. They have poverty mentality because really and truly, you don't need money. All that you need is relationships.
Yes.
All that you need is connections. All that you need is power. All that you need is to be able to solve problems. When you commit yourself to solving the problems of humanity, right, the more problems you solve, the more money you make.
Because you're solving. An entrepreneur is supposed to solve, by the way.
That's it. So the whole concept of mindset shift is government has to create initiatives that foster entrepreneurship, that create a different environment. Now, let's talk about environments, right? Why is the man that has a poverty mentality with that mentality? Why is the man that has a rich man's mentality with it? Why is the man that has a wealthy mentality with that mindset? It's the environment that they were nurtured in. We were nurtured into our nature. Your upbringing, your parents, your siblings, the school you went to, you know, the environment that you grew up in. You can never be anything outside of your nurture. Your nature is a reflection of your background and the environment that you currently are. So government has to change the environment. And the very first thing that has to change is government has to create an enabling environment.
Okay.
Has to create an environment that fosters entrepreneurship, that fosters innovation, creativity, and ideas. We have to look at the lowest hanging fruits. We have to look at the problems around us, and we have to formulate policies to solve those problems. If we change our environment, the mindset will change. The difference between the West, Europe, America is that they have created policies that provide transportation, that provide housing, that provide mortgage, that provide security. They have created an environment. So you know what? When you travel abroad, you don't have to pray for certain things. A lot of the things that we pray for in Africa, right, they're not spiritual.
Exactly.
They are caused by people who have a mindset of poverty. If we can change our environment, the people in those environments will change. So behavior is the survival instincts of people based on how they are relating with their environment. So if we can change our environment, we will change behaviors. If we can change behaviors, we will change people's capabilities and people's abilities. If we can change people's capabilities and abilities, we will change people's beliefs and values. If we can change people's beliefs and values, we will change people's identity. When we can change people's identity, we can change their outcomes in life. So if you want to change the economy, you want to change how people are living, if you want to change the outcomes of people's lives, you have to come back to the environment and change the environment. Very simple. But you have to understand the critical elements, the needs of the environment. What are the needs of the people?
Okay.
Provide for it.
And our conversations are definitely taking a break. We return shortly afterwards. And of course, when I do return, we shall also be in sync with Samson Bwaya, who is the board chairman, Coach Africa. And as well, we're also going to be looking at the next, an event that is actually coming soon. That is on the 20th of May. We're only going to be looking at it insightfully to understand what you should definitely expect of the same, and be ready to actually change your lives in a break. There's one thing that has actually interested me, the mere fact that you mentioned that most of the problems that we have are not spiritual, and we tend to drive them into the spiritual world, and says a lot about the kind of testimonies at times that people give while at churches. But anyways, we are here talking mindset change. And as we go into the break, you as a viewer out there and anyone interested in as much as you want to invest, Zabu is giving you the platform and the opportunity to do so. *292# is the USSD code that you need to use to quickly kickstart off your investment journey with the platform that is powered by Altex East Africa. The minimum amount of investment is 15,000 Ugandan shillings. The markets are open at 8:15 a.m. and closing time is 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time. Please note that these markets are fully closed during the weekends and on public holidays. Zabu says, my money, my future, and it's powered by Altex East Africa. After the break, in our last half of our discussion, we'll still stick big on two mindset change, but also understanding what Coach Africa means and what it entails. Good morning.